So I started a strategic management and executive leadership master's program at Penn State. I've got an MBA, I've done a lot of leadership, but I want to do more related to executive leadership. So right now I'm in power and influence. I'm also in a class called business architecture. And I thought what would be fun is to do kind of summaries of some of the things that we learned, high yield stuff, quick and easy things to kind of go over kind of every week. So we're going to focus on week one of these two courses that started a few weeks ago. So the first thing I want to talk about is power. So power isn't just positional, it's relational. Relationships that we form with our peer groups as well as our bosses and people who have influence within our organizations matter often more than just the title on the door. Titles are often granted to give you authority, but influence is often earned through credibility, trust, and the timing that's involved. Leadership often moves from people who they choose to follow. So you can have authority, or you can have kind of formal power, or you can have and kind of have buy-in related to that, or you can have something more like soft power, where the networks really kind of are designed and coalitions kind of form between various people and parties involved. The takeaway is that our position should never replace trust. So we don't just trust a title, we are kind of trusting but verifying. Or if someone seems to not live up to the title that they have, then it can be very challenging to overcome that incompetence. So we trust people who seem to have our best interest and seem knowledgeable of the things that we're looking to learn. Ultimately, organizations tend to behave exactly as they are designed. So when you see a problem within an organization, wondering why something is done the way it is, the first thing you should look at is look at the organization, not necessarily the parties involved. Structure of an organization tend to drive the behavior of those organizations, and then incentives also shape the decisions that are made. So if there's not alignment between an organization and an individual, it's really difficult to have those decisions be executed in the way that they were designed. So misalignment often creates that kind of friction and burnout that occurs within members of an organization. So the takeaway for this is to fix a system before you start blaming the people involved. And lastly, I want to say strategies often fail because the people are not involved in that strategy. So structure fails without purpose, and strategy fails without the people involved. Leadership often lives in this kind of intersection between influence and design. And so it's often, I look at it as where intention meets execution is what we're looking at for leadership. So how do we take an organization's strategy and then be able to execute it? That's directly related to where leadership comes in. So leadership lives in that intersection, and leadership isn't just intent, it's design. So what do you want the organization to look like? How do you want people to feel working in your organization? These are the things we have to think about and think about deeply, or our organizations will often stumble and our team members will often get disenfranchised, if you will, or they won't be engaged and they won't be able to carry out their duties. So thank you. That's it for week one of this education.